Good morning, everyone. To God be the glory. This is Apostle Naima. I am smiling because I am up here, bed hair, don't care. And I had to get up here because I just got finished looking at a video that I'm just like, really, really, really. Okay, so here's the scenario. So someone put a video of Kerry Washington on their TikTok, and Kerry Washington was making the great appeal regarding, or she was responding to the Supreme Court ruling concerning Donald J. Trump, stating that he had immunity as a former president. And so she goes on, Kerry Washington, that is, she goes on to say that, if that happens to him, then he could do anything. And once he's president again, he can use his powers to do anything, and he'll have all this immunity. And so basically invoking fear. So I look into the comments because it took a little bit for me not to put a comment up there because I knew it wouldn't be befitting for me to do so. But I wanted to at least read what the comments were. What were the people saying? Because this should have been predicted. We should have expected this. But okay, so I'm scrolling through the comments, and they're like, yes, they're setting us, this set us back 400 years, and you're right, we got to vote because he can't be president anymore. He can't be president again, and yeah, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, says the people, not realizing that their current sitting president, everything that they're putting in these comments really are to be applied against them. But see, when it comes down to propaganda, when it comes down to things like that, it's not, you don't have to be telling the truth. You just got to make the people think it's true, or either. And here's why I'm a little bit frustrated, not to be frustrating, but a little bit frustrated, because a part of me is like, how many times do we have to fall for the same okey doke? How many times do we have to fall for the same sham before we finally wisen up and realize that this is what they do when they want to manipulate the public, specifically America, because America has a past, and nothing gets us emotional as a nation than racism. So I even told this to my team. This had to be like last week, maybe a week and a half ago. No, matter of fact, it was about 2 weeks ago. It was before the ruling. I told them, don't be surprised if there is a racially charged anything that hits the nation. I said, this is typical. Matter of fact, this was not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before. Yes, 2 weeks ago. I said, don't be surprised if there is something racially charged that happens in America within the next few months, whether it's a shooting, a killing, a wrongful something. It doesn't even necessarily have to be true, but it just has to be peddled inside of the media long enough to where people to spark a response. And that's what they rely on. The far left, they rely on you getting emotional. They rely, because think about that. How many times do you see like Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies that says, yeah, I'm going to look at this multi-billion-dollar contract right after I get good and emotional. We don't make good sense when we're emotional. And again, like in America, there is nothing that gets us more revved up than as a nation as something racial. Now, here's the thing. Racist, I'm sorry, and potentially racist, and that's what she played into. Says the woman, Kerry Washington, that is, says the woman who her hit show was her being an African-American fixer, which means she lied, manipulated, and did all that, but she looked really cute, and she looked she was very quick with it and had a very fast talking way about her, and so America fell in love with her, even though her character was one that slept with the white American president. Just saying. And so I wouldn't be surprised if more people come out the woodwork. Now, don't get me wrong. We have a past. There's no pretty, sugarcoating that. There's no prettying it up. But that same past can be used against you. Matter of fact, let me tell you who's skilled at doing that. Satan. Doesn't he do that to you all the time? When you're trying to succeed, when you're trying to break through, when you're trying to enter and possess the land, what does he remind you? You remember the last time, you remember what that, and what is that for the purpose of? To keep you from entering and possessing. Now, as it pertains to political, don't sit and don't get caught up on emotionalism, which will work for the enemy. And didn't that work for the enemy last time? Oh my gosh, I seen the slave chains he's about to put on. I mean, I'm sorry. They were doing it. They were really doing it. They had everybody from rappers to actors to Beyonce to everybody talking about, oh my gosh, Trump is going to put us in chains and he's going to make us, horrible again. And then we had one of the most prosperous, I could say in my generation, one of the most prospering Americas, especially considering everything that was happening. And then, of course, we had COVID hit. But even in that, we still prevailed. What happened when Biden took office? Well, matter of fact, I don't need to talk about this. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even talk about it. Just do your research. Recall the last 8 years and put side by side as far as what happened in our economy, what happened with the HBCUs. Listen, because the HBCUs, because here's the thing, they use those tactics. You got to hear this. They could care less. The same people who's trying to make you feel like you're about to go into slave chains and pick cotton one more time are the same people who's trying to put you there. All you have to literally, and the reason why they're doing that, let me finish this thought. I gotta excuse the bed here. The reason why they're doing this is because they know that they don't have anything to win on. They're not that Biden's election or our presidency was horrible. It was horrible for the country. We have what, 17 to 19 million illegal immigrants. We have enemies. We already knew we had enemies in our borders, but it's another thing for you to swing the door wide open and say, come on in. And they're in luxury hotels while our veterans are in the streets. And they have recently, if you scroll on my timeline, you'll see I talk about the fact that now they also have the right to bear arms. They have amendment right. They have legal rights just like you and me, right? They don't have to pay taxes, but they're living off of yours. Oh, this is Biden's America. And now you're saying that you want to go ahead and elect him for another 4 years because you're scared that Trump, when he was in office, that he helped more African American issues, Christian issues, American issues, and Israel issues. Get over it. More than the other presidents did up until the time. And plus this 1 year. This is what's happened. Let me just stop because you can see I'm getting excited and I'm looking. I know what I look like. Don't judge me. Amen. But just do your research. And remember, when it comes down to presidents, it's not about preference, people, or this is what I think might happen. Meanwhile, you completely overlook what did happen. What happened under Biden's America and what happened under Trump's America. And they are vastly different. And when it was time for election time with Clinton and Trump, they did the same narrative. So this is just a different year. And they're doing the same trick. Why? Because this worked. But I hope that we wise up and we don't let it work this time. That we realize that this is a tactic that they use against you and against me to get us to vote the way they want so they can do what they want to do. This is not good to think like that. You don't have to take my word for it. Do your research. Amen. Amen. I'm going to go comb my hair.